Hey, I'm Andy, and welcome to Rock, Roll, and Red Plaid. Our guests tonight are the vocal group, the Goldtones. They are based out of Florida, and they have a lot to offer, and come check out this fantastic interview. Alrighty.
Salad.
You, you guys, the Goldtones, we're here. Episode, I believe, 13 of Rock, Roll, and Red Plaid podcast. Got to shout out Scott for having us hook up with Jim there and all you guys there. If you guys could one by one introduce yourselves and what do you do?
Okay, I'll start. I'm Jim Bermonti. I'm actually from Boston,
Okay.
and I'm down here in beautiful sunny Florida right now. And I've relocated with some friends uh, and acquaintances and people that I just have to hang around with. And we do a vocal harmony. Um, what shall we go with? What flavor are we going with?
Orgy, vocal harmony
Vocal Avorgi. We call it Avorgi. It's Italian for
Yes.
working with the Goldtones. And I'm going to have each one of the guys. I'm from Boston, and I've been in the music business for like 40 years or so. So I've been doing this a long time. And this is probably one of the funnest things I've done in a long time. And so I'll go to my dear friend Robert, and he can explain his background and go from there.
Yeah.
Yes, Flag. I was born in Brooklyn and I lived in New England for a long time. I am now a full-time Florida resident and I've been a gold tone for about 12 minutes.
12 days, really. It's
Good,
12 days.
good to know. 12 exact minutes.
He just joined.
I'm the baby in the group.
Yes.
Okay. And the t-shirt that is fantastic where it says I'm not old, I'm classic. I appreciate that.
True.
Mm.
I'm Guy Tan. Originally, I was born in Brooklyn and grew up on Long Island. And I sang with many cover groups from the 50s and 60s, and I performed with many of the big names of the 50s and 60s. But I moved to Florida many, many years ago, and I can't say I miss Long Island. I do miss my daughter and my brother, but
Sir.
we can always visit them. I last September joined the Goldtones, and it's been an exciting time for me, and I'm very happy to be part of the group.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
my name is Gary Blomberg. I'm the owner manager of the Goldtones, and I've been with the group for about 10 years. And our mission basically is just to keep the good music alive, and when we do a concert or a dance for 2 or 3 hours, our mission is to take the people away from their daily mundane troubles and bring them back 30, 40, 50 years when times might have been a little bit happier, and we have a good time doing it. We make some good music and make some people smile, and it's nice.
Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. Um, are there any specific songs going back to that era that initially made you want to start singing and performing personally for you guys? Because that's always a question I ask my guests is like, is there always a song or an artist that made you go, I want to do that?
The Beatles.
Yeah.
For me, it was the Beatles.
I think it was Tiptoe Through the Tulips.
That's a first.
No, the Beatles. You're
No,
right.
he meant the song. He's not talking about a Saturday night routine. That's a whole other thing. Well, everybody's got this story, right? I mean, I started off listening to, and Scott will tell you, I had a garage band thing and all that stuff
Mhm.
back when I was in high school and started playing music and listening to, things. I was off I personally, I wasn't into the whole Beatles and Stones thing. I was more into the eclectic things like the Monkees and probably the most influential artist that I used to listen to at that period was Tom Jones. I thought he was
Mm.
just unbelievable. Basically most of the R&B songs that I know I learned from Tom Jones, and so everybody's got their little background that they've listened to and what their history's been. I was on the road. Yeah, after I got out of high school, I went to Berkeley Music School, and then I went on the road traveling, and so I got a chance to perform with some big acts, and did what I did, something that I always wanted to do. So that's my background. Robert, you've got your story too. You've been doing this thing for
No, I'm a
50
late
years.
bloomer. I didn't start playing in bands till about 20 years ago in my late 40s. But it was all mostly 60s bands, hard rock bands, playing guitar, lap steel, bass. Then Jim, my friend Jim here, and I were in a doo-wop group together.
Before that, we did the.
Before that, we were in the Psychedelic Relics.
Yeah, they're from North Shore. They're right up by.
That's a
you.
good name. I feel like I've heard that name before.
Yeah,
They're,
because
they're out of Gloucester,
They're out of
Gloucester,
Gloucester.
Mass.
We played
Oh, okay.
in Boston. Yeah.
And
I'm in Danvers, so not to hop, skip, and a jump there. Yeah.
so Jim and I were in a doo-wop group together, and then when I moved down here, he introduced me to these gentlemen, and they have been an absolute pleasure to work with in the short time I've been with them. They've been very helpful, and it's a phenomenal sound.
I've heard some of it from your through your site there, which is of the goldtones.com, if I have that correctly. It really is, by the way, love the suits. That's like, it's like that's the icing on the cake there. That's part of me is I don't know which songs they were, but I definitely remember hearing when you guys did Lion Sleeps Tonight, which is like, okay, anyone who can pull that off knows what they're doing, and pulling it off well, because anybody can do it, but doing it well and doing it properly and doing it justice is a whole different ball
You gotta have
game.
the right instrumentation too. You gotta have the right
Yes.
people that can cover those parts, not just sing, but actually cover the right parts.
Right.
But Guy, you've got to finish your little.
Oh, so
Oh, that's right.
I started when I was like 12 years old. We formed a Beatles band. And of course, none of us really had any money. So we
Kind
actually
of like now.
well, yeah, well, even
Comes
less.
around.
But we actually, I played guitar, and we actually made our mic stands we took a coffee can and a broomstick and put plaster in the can and stuck the broomstick and let it set overnight. Then we painted it with aluminum paint. And it's like the Little Rascals sort of a thing,
That's
And
That's
great
that's what
DIY.
we actually, we did a few little shows. We performed at an elementary school, and, and it was great. But I mean, but that's how I got my start. And then went in the military a number of years later. And then little by little, when I came out, I was working and sort of singing while I'm working. I was a chef by trade, and I'd be singing while I'm cooking. And people say, you should do that professionally. I said, yeah, I don't know. And so I started back with the gong shows. So I said, let me see, because these people are friends. Let me see what strangers think of me. So I entered some gong shows, and unfortunately, I didn't get gonged. But I mean,
Is that the terminology?
Yeah. So right now, at this stage and age, I am blessed to be with the Goldtones.
It's a fun thing.
Fantastic. Excuse me. I've always found
Eric gets
that
his piece of the pie.
The Beatles. I was the first one in high school to have brown
shoes.
Beetle boots and
Yeah,
long hair.
the
and,
Beetle wig, or
no,
perhaps the
no,
actual hair.
we had the Beetle haircut.
Yes.
And, our group was called Station 6 back in Milford, Connecticut.
Okay.
And we tried to do some Beatles stuff from Rubber Soul, and just great music, great times.
I you see, now I want my mic stands to be just broomsticks with the plaster of Paris.
That's a true story. Let me tell you.
I got you beat. I'm going to tell you my story. Okay. So I've got a rock band. I'm in I'm in 7th grade. I'm doing a rock band, right? And I used to go see these concerts, and these guys had these strobe lights flashing. And I said, how did they do that? So I go back to my house, and you know those things that they had like for Christmas trees, they were like a plastic green light
Oh
fixture.
no.
And you put one of the bulbs in it, like screw like this. I used to put that on the ground, and I would take one of those cheap extension cords, and I'd take the thing, and I just barely plug it into the outlet, and I'd sit there as I'm playing my guitar, tapping the floor, and this thing is like it's making the connection, and the lights flashing. And I'm thinking, I'm doing a strobe light.
That's better than what I would have done. I just flicked the light on and off really, really quick.
I had to hold the guitar and play.
Yeah, no, I couldn't do that. it's always seemed to me that vocal harmony groups are always the, how would you put it, in the sense of like there are bands that can get together and play bass guitar, drums, keyboards, horns, or whatever, but it really takes a level of uniqueness and good practice to get a vocal group to work together, so accurately and blend really well. What is it about the four of you guys that gels so well, do you think?
Jim.
At least you're honest.
He's the musical director, and Guy can pick out the notes. Jim can pick out the notes. Robert, you can pick out the shirts.
No, Robert can pick up the notes too.
Yeah,
Everybody's got a very, 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 very crafted background of experience doing this stuff. So people can hear their parts and listen to them. What we've done is we've sort of come up with a bunch of people that one of the first things is the sound, the timbre of the voices has to blend.
Blend, that's the key, blend.
Has to blend, but it's what we're really working on, and hopefully we're working on even, and we'll be really developing fine tuning, is that when we sing a song, and this may be a little bit, like wishful thinking, you're gonna listen to us sing, four guys, and you're gonna say, "There's a melody there. I know that song, but who's singing it? I don't know." Because it's like this. It's like if I were to play a piano and I played those chords, you'd hear the melody in there, but you say, "I don't know who's singing what part." And that's a key to, I think, to the harmony parts that we do. I mean, there are a lot of bands that are popular, even popular, commercial bands, big name bands. They sing, but there are very few, like the Eagles or something like that, who are actually, each one of those guys is a singer, and it's, as opposed to being a guitarist who sings, or a bass player or a drummer who sings. Don Henley, is a singer primary, and that's why they have their own private, their own singular careers as singers. And that's what I think each one of these guys, each one of us could well establish themselves as a singer, as a front singer.
We don't have a lead singer.
We don't have a lead singer. It's all just, we all just sort of, and everybody looks at it that way.
That's what makes it great. That's what makes it fun. Because as each person does a lead vocal, that sort of changes the harmony ever so slightly. Even though you're all singing the same notes, it's different voices. So it really makes a unique, a unique sound that a lot of groups can't do that. You have a lead singer and that he's the lead singer, or she's the lead singer, and that's that. A lot of bands don't pay attention to background vocals, and that to me is the difference between a good band and a great band.
When there's some great footage on YouTube of the Eagles. Speaking of which, my mom's here showing off the latest hat she did. I'm doing a podcast right now, but that's okay. My mom is a huge Eagles fan, and we were just talking about the Eagles. She showed me some fantastic footage of they were backstage. Was it late 70s, Ma, you'd say? Yes. Of them just in one of those big hallways in one some enormo dome, wherever they were, but they were in like the back hallway stairs, and they were rehearsing and singing Seven Bridges Road. And it's like, you're right. Who's singing what part? You don't know.
Yeah, right. That's a great song. I don't have five singers, but
right. That five is ridiculous. I mean, I'm trying to do two, just layering myself, but But
right now we do not almost every show before we go on, we do that same thing, and as we're ready to go on, we sing an a cappella thing, we sing something that's to warm up, and also to just sort of remind each other, how the blend works. I think that's what I look at it as. It's we're listening to each other.
I went to see a band a number of years ago on the House of Blues on Lansdowne Street in Boston, and they added in piece by piece. I mean, they had one lead singer, but they all knew how to sing, so that was the point. And I think it was a 5-piece group, because they were stacking, and by the time they got to the fifth part, and they went down like and it was one of those things where it was a kind of one of those rowdier shows, but they silenced everybody in the audience to the point where you could only hear one guy in the back go, "Whoa." So it has an effect. I'd say even more so than any physical instrument, instrument you could hold, I should say. You know. I was like asking this question: does anybody have any nightmare gigs that they recollect over the years?
Oh, definitely,
Oh
definitely.
yeah.
Playing in Massachusetts, and the only people in the audience was my wife, three drunks, and the bartender. That was a nightmare.
I know I always like the ones where like, somebody falls off the stage or somebody does something or
Actually, I had bought a Gretsch White Falcon guitar. It's a beautiful guitar.
yeah.
And I was filling in for a friend's band, and we were playing in an Irish dive bar in Hampton Beach. And
Mhm.
I'm playing along, and all of a sudden I feel these arms come around behind me, and there's this 40-something power drinking blonde woman trying to grab at the strings of this guitar. I just
Oh no.
and her boyfriend's about 9 feet tall, and I'm thinking if I push her away, so I just let her, I just sort of had to go like this, so she wouldn't destroy my brand new guitar. I never brought the guitar to that bar again ever.
No, no.
He has a relationship with his guitars that most people don't.
I can't say as I blame him. I
He has
mean,
outfit that matches guitars. He really does.
you ask Scott about my red guitar, he'll tell you all more about it than I could.
Have some
I don't
horror,
know.
Mary.
I don't have a guitar.
But you've got gig horror shows.
Not really, if it's a horror show, I think I probably blank it out. The thing that I can remember with the Goldtones back years and years ago was we played this high-end yacht club,
Mhm.
and the room is divided into like a middle section and then a section over here and a section over there. And everyone was in these sections over there listening and eating and drinking. And we're in this middle room in the middle playing to nobody. And I couldn't wait till the hour and a half was over.
Yeah.
It was a 4 hour and a half gig. It was terrible, but nothing stupid.
I've
Just
got a history
boring.
of dealing with a lot of, I played a lot of weddings and things like that back in Boston. A lot of high-end weddings. We had like a 9-piece wedding band with horns and all that stuff. So there were two stories that always jump out to me. I played one giant wedding. It was actually over the border in Londonderry, I think, New Hampshire. It's a lovely, lovely hall. All these people, these young, beautiful looking people in there. And come to find out, they were all state police and police officers, all of it.
Ah.
And they like to drink, right? And the husband and wife she was a police officer and the husband was a police officer. And so they're getting drunker and the drunker. Next thing you hear this ruckus going on outside, and they're outside in the parking lot, and he's punched her in the face. They were so drunk, he punched her in the face, knocked her out. So the other cops are trying to alleviate this problem. So that was one interesting scenario. And so that whole thing sort of wind down. Everybody went home. The other one was we're playing up in Cape Ann, up in your neck, up in that area, right? Beautiful outside wedding, gorgeous on the water, outside tent with a lovely dance floor. And it was nighttime, and along the dance floor, they had all these little bags with candles in them to light the dance floor. And the bride comes out, she's got this giant train behind her, and that sweeps around and knocks the candles over. The train goes on fire, and this thing's
Oh no.
starting to burn off the. So those are some lovely stories that I remember from those days. You must have one or two.
No.
Go ahead. Sorry. Yeah.
Mine would be it was a personal nightmare for me. I was singing with an 8-piece group and we were performing, and musicians, it's like they have a contest sometimes, who could be the loudest. So I see he's laughing because he knows. So we were doing a gig and I was singing, and I also owned the PA system, so I had everything mic'd, everybody was set up, and little by little they started getting louder and louder. Well, so I told guys, you cannot do this because this is my instrument right here, and I'm not going to scream. Well, look, they got louder and louder. So in the middle of a song, I just stepped off to the side of the stage. I said, you guys get as loud as you want. Finish the song yourself. I'm done. I literally just walked to the side of the stage I said, I'm done. I told you guys, but so
Yeah, because you drummers can replace drumsticks, guitars can replace guitar strings. You can't replace any of this. Yeah. I like I like gyms because like it's a room full of police officers, but it's like if something happens, it's like, oh wait, call the what do you do? You
Yeah,
know?
oh, and they, it was this collective cover up. You could see it. You could feel the wave going through the whole place. How are we gonna? Don't show this. Get rid of this. Get rid. It was like get rid. It was like, whoa, what's going on here? You know. And it was like all of a sudden everything's back gone. You know. Bride was taken away. You know. It's like, oh, geez. It was a husband, wife. It was so drunk. But anyway, that's it. So what I was thinking is why don't we sing a song and we could put that on the
That would be great. I'll
the
put myself on
warm up that like our Seven Bridges Road.
whatever you like, and I'll put myself on mute. And this is the Goldtones. Go ahead.
All right, well, I need my Zuba Duba. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Ooh, 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 ooh. As we stroll along together, hand in hand, walking all alone. So in love are we two that we don't know what to do. So in love, in a world of our own. So in love, as we stroll by the sea together, under stars twinkling high above. So in love are we two, no one else but me and you. So in love, so much in love, so in love, so in love, so in love, so much in love, so in love. We stroll along together. I tell you I need you oh so much. I love you, my darling. Can't you tell? Touch when we walk down the aisle together. We will vow to be together till we die. So in love are we two, just can't wait to say I do. So in love, so much in love, so in love, so in love, so in love, so much in love, so in love, so in love, so in love, so much in love. You, I.
So there you go.
That sounded fantastic in the headphones here. So
Hey, we're the Goldtones, and you're watching Rock, Roll, and Red Plaid.
Who said red flag?
He
Who
said
said red
flag.
flag?
it's okay. I'll take it. I think it's funny. So
Okay, we'll leave it in. We'll leave it in.
So what is what anything you guys want to plug? What's next for you guys?
We do a cruise. We host a Caribbean cruise every year. This will be our 9th year of doing that. We're putting that together now and getting the word out. So if you like oldies and doo-wop and having fun, if you like cruising, if you like whatever, we're sailing next January 2nd out of Tampa, and our first stop's going to be New Orleans, and then we're going down through the Caribbean. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
On a real big boat, not just a little.
Yeah, it goes celebrity. So it's usually Celebrity Cruise Line or Royal Caribbean. We have a lot of fun. Usually a couple hundred of our fans come with us every year, so it's really cool.
Very good. We'll have to see. But thank you guys so much. And it has been Rock Roll and Red Plaid with the Goldtones. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
thank you.
Good
Come
luck.
down and join us.
Yeah,
here.
it's nice. Walking all alone. So in love are we two that we don't know what to do. So.
For more of my original content, visit my website, www.andyconley.com.